And what you're saying around the economy and the narrowed prediction around growth really ties in with the state of the nation that you proposed last year as well. You focused on economy, you focused on business, you focused on the message of government around trade. If you were given the opportunity again this year to deliver your own State of the Nation address, would that remain top of mind?
It is. It's a big crisis for South Africans. I mean, my key focal areas are the fact that we need economic growth, and we argue the case around how we do that. And if I to table one of the bold plans we'd have to do is decide we want to cut cabinet. We need that 4 billion rands that could be allocated to other projects. So cut cabinet in half. That would indicate the size, that the indication that says that you're not only just wanting to look after your own comrades, but you really are focused on the people of South Africa. We want to diversify energy, so I would immediately table into law or into Parliament the fact that we need to see laws that allow a greater participation of independent power producers. Furthermore, we want to be clear about the fact that we must revoke legislation that makes it difficult for people to create jobs. The visa regulations, it can't be a secret thing. It must be removed entirely so that we can allow more tourists to come in, considering that our currency is particularly weak. I think we mustn't lose track of the state of our education. I mean, when you reflect on last year's matric results, which are only but one indicator, I would be adamant now to say to the people of South Africa, we have to ensure that we've got teachers in classrooms, that we take away the power of SATU, because the unions have had profound power into our education system. We've got to ensure that we take away their power to make sure teachers are in classrooms, make sure there's good infrastructure of our kids, that there's decent technology and textbooks, and we can ensure that we address the educational inequalities.
How do you propose something like that without alienating the unions? Because unions form the kind of spine of a lot of South African political engagement.
Not necessarily. There's a diversity of unions that are present. We have SATU here in the Western Cape. It's not to suggest that they just have got respected and different power. They understand the processes that we want to put forward. I don't fight against unions. I fight against their overreach. Because what SATU has been able to do, I mean, in which world can a union be able to offer jobs to teachers for cash? Effectively, that scandal that's been investigated by the minister tells you the fact that our education is in a dire state. How is it that we've allowed in certain places, we've just finished now in Parliamentary Oversight Committee where certain teachers have not come back from school holidays. We are talking February today. And you can't fire those teachers because they're protected by a union. This is violating the future of those kids. This is saying to them that Bantu education is alive and well. Can't accept that. And then I think I would be very quick, broadly, to say, how do we build this reconciled? Because at the end of the day, I'm sure you would appreciate it in your business that there are so many people writing. That's why News 24 removed their comments, because it became a place where racial language was used that was not building to our country. And I think it requires the leadership to be able to say, the picture for a reconciled, non-racial South Africa is still the best offer we have. The fight against racists cannot be more racist. It has to be a picture that says to South Africans, we're a diverse country. So part of the State of the Nation address gives any head of state the ability and the opportunity, not only to table plans, but to say to South Africans, this is the journey we must go on this year, and we must make sure that racists don't have a future.
But I mean, if you look at the speeches of the last 2 or 3 years, the ANC repeatedly refers to its non-racist, non-sexist, democratic South Africa. So in terms of the kinds of phrases and the language of the speech itself, that's certainly supported.
I think you'd be hard-pressed to find many more South Africans who actually take what the ANC says seriously, because I think they're continually losing legitimacy. They make rhetoric of statements, but actually are not committed to executing that. And that's something that we should all be worried about, because this is a government now that even on Thursday, last year, we tabled a 9-point plan. I haven't seen its fruition this year. This year we'll table another plan. We used to speak about the National Development Plan. There's absolutely no consequence to that. I'm saying the most moral imperative for South Africans, so that we build an inclusive society, is to govern well for all. Because it also doesn't help. I agree, racism is evil, and those who are racist must know that, and we must be able to take a strong stance against it. But we must also perpetuate the things that enhance racism. So where there's bad governance in place, it enhances that because economic opportunities are less, and ultimately you relegate those who have been left out to continue being left out.
So as that gap between rich and poor continues to grow, it kind of fuels the flames of racism or prejudice.
And that gap is still continuing on the basis of race.
Yeah.
And I think we've got to build an inclusive society so that one day my kids, your kids, will be able to grow up in a country where, as Robert Sobukwe once said, the color of their skin matters only as far as the shape of their nose.